Hello, we're talking bonds, investment bonds. If rising interest rates have left you shaken, we can show that these same rates have stirred activity in bonds that could benefit you. Jim Lineweaver is on the case. Jim is a certified financial planner professional with the Lineweaver Financial Group. So welcome back to the show.
I should change my name to James Bond.
Yes. So interest rates rose in December and could keep rising,
Yes.
right? So what does that mean?
Well, if you're holding bonds in your portfolio, as interest rates go up, your bonds go down. So when you're looking at your statements, you could be freaking out a little bit. I know we've had volatility in the equity market, but you can say, hey, I thought these bonds were safe and be secure for me for my retirement, but why am I seeing all these negatives on my paper? So you got to be very careful when interest rates rise, you got to expect your bonds to go down.
Okay, but even if that happens, you say there's ways for bond owners to take advantage of rising interest rates.
There is, and you have to be really careful with this, okay? Because if you don't do it right, you could have financial hardship. So one of the ways that you can protect yourself a little bit is Treasury inflation protected securities, so TIPS. So the thinking is if interest rates are going to go up, inflation's probably going to go up with it. So this is an income device that can allow you to not only get a couple interest payments a year based on the change in the consumer price index, but the underlying instrument will also adjust over time with inflation. So in 5 years from now, if inflation's higher, your bond would be worth more. And for some reason, if it goes the other way, you still make sure you're going to get your principal back because they're backed by the Treasury.
Okay, some safety there then. So your next strategy is investing in single corporate bonds.
Yeah, so as opposed to having a bond fund with a bunch of different maturities in it, which usually don't hold up as well, you can buy individual bonds. And what you can do with this is buy them so that, hey, if I pick a 5 or a 10-year duration, even though in the meantime, if my principal of my bond goes down, I'm still going to get paid my interest. And if I hold that to maturity, and as long as it's a good quality bond, like say AA or AAA or better, what's going to happen is then I'm going to get all my principal back too. So you can ignore the negatives on your statement, get your checks at the end of the duration, get your money back.
Okay. Another option?
Yeah, well, you can ladder these then. So in a rising interest rate environment, you don't want to go out 15 or 20 or 30 years. So maybe you go out 3, 4, and 5 years so that as they hit their maturity in 3 years, one, if you need the money, take it. If not, roll it over for another 3 or 4 year bond. And then what's going to happen is you're gradually going to be increasing those interest rates and income through that rising interest rate environment.
Okay, so that's a bond ladder.
Yes,
not one of
is.
those devices that James Bond uses.
Right, correct.
All of those techniques you've talked about so far talk about single bonds. You mentioned bond funds before, so is there something we can do with bond funds as well?
Yes. Now, what I really like about bond funds, to make a contrary statement to what I said earlier, is it's very, people don't like to buy equities out of the United States because there's so much additional risk. You don't really want to buy individual bonds outside the United States either. Very risky. So leave it to a good third-party money manager. You can get international bonds, emerging market bonds, still check the quality, but in a bond fund, and then therefore you can get exposure to other countries that are lowering their interest rates and stimulating their economy, and therefore you get an uptick in your bonds, not what we're getting here, and get great exposure, and you can still get very good income out of it.
All right. So much going on right now, financially speaking, with the new tax law. But you have some extra help for our folks out there, right?
We do. We're pulling a great team together of financial tax and legal at a seminar we have upcoming on April 19th and the 24th at 5:30 p.m. This is down in Uniontown at the Prestwick Country Club. It's really going to help preserve and grow your wealth under the new tax plan that was initiated this year by President Trump. So there'll be a lot of great information for your viewers.
Because there's so many changes.
There is, and you got to take advantage of them.
Oh, yeah. As Jim pointed out, there are always strategies to make the most out of almost any financial situation. To learn more, attend Jim's seminar or give him a call. The number's next.
To find out more, call the Lineweaver Financial Group at 1-888-313-4009 or log on to www.lineweaver.net.